representations. Everything is merely a description, not the real myself. Everything is simply a shape, a form, an identifier to let others recognize me as me. But then, what am I? Is this me? My true self? My fake self? What is it that I am? Who are you? There's little difference between how you interpret yourself and how the others interpret you. Right. My clothes, my shoes, my room. These are all parts of what makes up myself. These things are connected through your consciousness. So what I think is me is me. What I recognize as self is myself. I'm no more and no less than the sum of my self-awareness. But I don't understand myself. Where am I? What am I? What am I? The only one who can take care of you and understand you is you, yourself. So you must take care of yourself. Your world is in a state of constant change. You're capable of change anytime your mind perceives these changes. What is this? A world of nothing? A world with nobody in it? This is the world of perfect freedom. Freedom? Perfect freedom. A world in which you have no restriction. Is this really freedom? Yes, this is what it is. However, this world has nothing in it.
All right. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. 5, 6, 7, 8. I almost forgot how to count for a second, y'all. For just a brief moment in time, I almost forgot what comes after 4. Yeah, that's how we're starting off the Ask Neo stream. But if there is any consolation, I am not muted this time, which tends to happen at least once every like 3 or 4 Ask Neos. That I always tend to mute myself. But hey, this is what happens when you're a one-man operation over here. We're just going to wait to see if any of the homies come through. Okay, I'm seeing some homies in the chat right now. Let me go ahead and, as y'all know, pop this bad boy out. Drag that all the way over here. All right. What's going on? Well, I'm seeing a lot of the homies here early. Shout out Ghost Rider. We got Reed94, Roberto Salazar. Of course, Asbel Launches in the building, keeping this chat 100% Christian. We got Chuck is chilling. Is he chilling? I don't know. It says always 420, so we got to assume so. We got E-Man Animates in the chat. Amazing JD. What's going on, Jason? Corey Gryffindor. Hey. What's going on, brother? Hey to you back. We've got Charlton Koo in the chat. Oh, we got the homie Hustle and Motive. What's going on, Motive? How you doing, brother? Motive. Your name is fucking Hustle, man. Why am I saying Motive? Well, I know something. We got to motivate you to play some horror games. That's what we got to do. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see. We got Dimwit Monkey in the chat. Hello, peepee heads. Well, damn. I'm a peepee head now, bro? Shit. Oh, man. Oh, we got someone from Singapore? Oh, Charlton. Bless, brother. Thank you, man. Oh, we got Matt in the chat. What's going on, Atlanta? How you doing? Yo, who is this man? Who is you, Jason? I don't know who you are, bro. I do not know who you are, my friend. Dono Otaku coming in. Oh, and then we got the homie Flame with the $5 super chat. Very early super chat. Thank you, Flame. Happy weekend, Neo. Thanks for streaming on a work night for me. But question, when's the next Doki Doki stream? You can't leave us hanging like that. Yes, that is a very good question. When the next Doki Doki stream is going to be going down. And to answer that question, Flame, the Doki Doki streams will resume tomorrow evening. I had to take a little bit of time off from that partly due to all the stuff happening out here. In addition to, I needed to give myself some time to truly process what was going down in that stream. And anybody who was here to watch the Doki Doki streams, whether it was live or on playback, the last stream that we did was we've been through some shit together. So yeah, I just wanted to give myself a few days just to really just let everything that happened truly marinate in my mind. And, of course, prep myself for the second stream. Well, the fourth stream at this point. Told you I'm not good with numbers today. But with any luck, that should hopefully be the final stream we do. Because, with all the voice acting and everything, it kind of drags it out a little bit. But I think that might be the last one on the docket. I'm not sure. Neo without cute anime girl voices. Oh yeah, bro. It's like so weird. Like, who is this dude? I'm so used to hearing the cute anime girl voices. But yeah, man, that was that is something I'm kind of not looking forward to, just getting back into character for those voices. Even though I did kind of tone it down later on, you know what I'm saying? Because it's taxing on your vocal cords, man, just doing all those voices. So I was like, you know what? Let me just pick voices that are within my range and just act out differently for each character. You get what I'm saying? Alrighty. Ooh, we got Robert Slade with the $4.99 super chat. What's up, Neo? You ready for the onslaught of Q1 2022 games to murder our wallets? Dude, you see, that's the craziest thing about what's coming up in the near future. Because I know everyone's kind of complaining that 2021 is a dry year. I don't really think that 2021 is a dry year. I think it all depends on what kind of games you're looking for, because for me, I've had something to play every single month, whether it's a remaster, whether it's an indie game, or whether it's something like Psychonauts 2 that just dropped. I'm having fun, and there's been a lot of Japanese games that have come out. Like, look, last month in July we had The Great Ace Attorney, and then we also had Neo The World Ends With You. So there's definitely a lot to play. I think it just depends on what you're looking for. But one thing that cannot be denied is 2022's game lineup, dude. Just off the top of my head, we've got Starfield, Breath of the Wild 2, we've got God of War Ragnarok, we've got Horizon Forbidden West. There's just so many games coming out, way too many games. I don't even know realistically how some of these games are gonna fit in that time frame, because just looking at February and March already, it's getting pretty stacked. So I know people don't like to hear this, but I would not be surprised if what the chat is kind of let me refresh the chat, because for some reason y'all's comments ain't coming up. There we go. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I would not be surprised if a lot of games in 2022 get delayed purely due to the fact that there's just way too many games coming out, man. So be prepared for a lot of those 2022 games to be pushed to 2023. Yep, Elden Ring. You got the Pokemon Arceus game, Splatoon 3. There's a lot of stuff coming out, you guys. A lot of stuff. And I just got to say this. Thank God for Game Pass. Thank God for Game Pass in that respect, because every single game that's coming out on Xbox and by extension PC is going to be day and date on Game Pass. And that is going to save so much friggin' money, man. So much money. And people might complain about Game Pass now, but as the further the generation goes on, and with the amount of money you're going to be saving, like, dude, that's going to make me buy more games. Like, because I already have Game Pass, that's going to cover everything, and that means I can spend that money on so many other games. So, yeah, dude, I'm all in for this generation, man. I'm so excited. Marvel XCOM, yeah, that just got announced recently. That's coming out early 2022. Shit is crazy, dude. It is crazy, man. 40 people watching, but only 15 likes. Hit that like button. Oh, yes, that is right. Appreciate that, Asbalan. Yeah, if y'all are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. But what games are you guys looking forward to? Not just in 2022 and beyond, but in the near future. Like, what are you guys looking forward to playing in the next couple months? I know me, myself, and I, obviously, Halo Infinite is going to be a big one, even though I'm kind of skeptical with the way 343 has been moving as of late. I'm still looking forward to Halo Infinite. Still looking forward to playing the multiplayer and playing the campaign. Of course, Back for Blood. Y'all know me. I love Left 4 Dead. And while the while the beta didn't really get me more excited for the game, I'm still excited to see where this game ends up going in terms of like updates, maps, things like that. Like next month we have Tales of Arise. Like this is the first Tales game in close to Berseria was 2016, so this is the first Tales game in 5 years, which is absolutely insane to think about. Because yeah, any of y'all who are Tales fans and those who aren't, the Tales franchise used to damn near be annual, and if not annual, they would take like a year off and then come out with a new game. Now, granted, all of those games were on they weren't really like big budget games, so they were able to churn them out pretty consistently. But now, as they've worked with new hardware and they really want to make sure that like this Tales game release is going to be the one, more time was necessary. And from what I've seen at Tales of Arise, it looks pretty damn good. Now, I haven't played the demo yet for Tales of Arise, mainly because I mentioned this before. I'm kind of at that stage where if a game looks really interesting to me and I'm really excited for it, I'm not going to play the demo. I'm not really going to go into the alpha or the beta. The only time I really do alphas or betas is if I'm kind of skeptical on a game. So Back 4 Blood, for example, I looked at the trailers. It seemed kind of cool, but I needed some hands-on time to see if it was worth it. And then, of course, I played the alpha. I liked it. Played the beta. I liked it. So I'm like, okay, I'm good on this one. I can rest easy. This is going to be that Left 4 Dead style game for me. But with something like Tales of Arise, you know, the demo, I'm just like, I already know, provided it's not another Tales of Zestiria, I'm pretty much good. So if it's just standard Tales, then we're Gucci at the end of the day. And my PS5 just turned on randomly, which makes no sense because my PS5, I turned it off. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on right now? Oh no. This is like that one time. Y'all remember when I first got my PS5, how it kept turning on randomly for some reason? Why the fuck did my PS5 turn on, man? This shit is spooky, bro. This shit is spooky. Alrighty. Oh, so we got a couple of super chats to go through. Alright, so the homie Marcus Doyle Terrell, shout out to you, brother. Alright. $5 super chat from Marcus. What's your opinion on the Heavenly / Long Beach Griffy situation? Don't you think it's crazy how Griffy pretty much canceled himself by talking? And while we're on the topic, what's your opinion on cancel culture? And then your last question is completely separate, so I'll touch on that later. So yeah, this whole situation between you know, Heavenly and Griffy and all that stuff. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, bro. I'm not gonna get into this because that's their whole business and what they're doing. Obviously, you know, when talking about, there are going to be some people who are watching this who might be a little, I guess you could say, triggered by what we're going to talk about, but it has to deal with sexual assault and harassment and all that stuff. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the entire situation. That's their business. They do them. But I think the important thing at the end of the day is, like, if you see some shit going on in your community or within your people who you say you fuck with, then you've got to address it and handle it. That's the extent that I'm going to go as far as that is concerned, because y'all know me, I'm not for any type of let's sweep things under the rug, or you try to say that no, it's different because this is my boy. You know, if anything, you got to hold your personal circle more accountable than you do strangers. So no, I'm just not a fan of the way that all of that entire situation went about. You know, if this should be treated with more respect than it was. When I was watching this unfold, it seemed like it was just some Twitter drama or Twitter beef. You know, these are serious allegations, and whether they are true or not, it should be handled in a way that is more professional, because this is some serious shit that can affect people's lives, and in some cases it can ruin people's lives. So yeah, I mean, if anything, that should just be a lesson of what not to do in a situation, and just holding people accountable, because we always say, like, yeah, hold people accountable until it doesn't, you know, or until it's like somebody who we know and all that stuff. I'm trying my best not to get into this, because like I said, I could speak about this for like 40 minutes plus, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of that situation, how it went down. And you know, my heart goes out to any victim out there of any type of abuse or harassment, you know. And I know it's tough, but you should speak up. You should speak up and so we can have that open and honest dialogue and that conversation. Obviously, you know, there's like, and we're gonna get into your next question, Marcus. What's your opinion on cancel culture? Me personally, I'm kind of indifferent to the idea of a cancel culture. I don't necessarily think that it exists as much as people think it is. How, oh, you know, it's open season on canceling folks and yada yada yada. I don't think it's that serious like folks are making it out to seem. Now, do I think there is some stupidness going around with cancel culture? Yes, like the fact that people will dig up an old tweet that could be completely out of context and use that to cancel someone. Yes, I think that's kind of going too far. But at the on the opposite end of the spectrum, I think that certain people need to be held accountable for the shit that they did back then. Sure, life is about personal growth and change and being better than what you were before. But if it's like, I'm just gonna be honest, there's some things that you cannot come back from. Like if you're going on there and you're acting like a dipshit, like a shithead, you're being, you know, hella misogynistic, hella sexist, hella racist. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, most people don't come back from that. Let's be real about life for a second. Especially at the age at which some of these people do that stuff. Now, if it's something that's kind of like minor, like let's say you tell an off-color joke about someone, that doesn't mean that you're overtly insert whatever this thing is. So I think that, you know, it kind of, you have to take everything by a case-by-case basis. You know, should somebody be canceled over, you know, maybe an off-color joke that wasn't funny? No, I don't think that. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, if it's something that's really serious and people are trying to sweep it under the rug as, no, cancel culture is bad and this is why, but then I'm like, no. But the problem is people get so dogmatic, and you see this a lot when it comes to the whole woke versus anti-woke situation. You have all these people out here saying that just by the simple inclusion of a black person, or God forbid, a black woman as a lead, that this is somehow going woke. Like, go woke, bro, broke. And the same opposite side of the argument, you have people who, they can look at something and it could be the most diverse, multicultural thing out there, and they'll say that it's not woke enough. Like, oh, why don't you have this level of representation or that? And it just becomes so dumb. And it honestly becomes annoying. And that's why I take a neutral stance to everything, because I am a firm believer that both sides of this whole woke, anti-woke, or for cancel culture, against cancel culture, like all these people are fucking insane, because they're so dogmatic that if their side isn't winning, then they are losing, and they pick up their virtual pitchforks. And by virtual pitchforks, I'm talking about typing on their $1,000 iPhone, and they just get there to complain about shit. So, I mean, I'm not gonna say that cancel culture is bad, but at the same time, I'm not gonna say that cancel culture is the best thing in the world either. You just got to take shit, because life, you got to take everything by a case-by-case basis. But the thing is, most people don't want to do that. They just want to go to these crazy extremes, you know? Like, it's just, bro. Like, I remember when Black Panther was coming out, people were saying that, oh my God, I really hope the Black Panther movie doesn't go woke. Why? Because it has a 98% black cast. Like dumb shit like that, bro. And that's why I'm just like, all right, man. You know what? You know, y'all have fun with that. Y'all have fun with that, man. Okay. And then the last question from Marcus: do you have any desire during your gym grind to be shredded, or you're all set just being big and muscular? Honestly, bro, it just comes down to my goals at the time. So for the most part, I do like being as big as I can, and that does come with having a little bit more body fat. So am I beach ready right now? No, I'm not beach ready. But at the same time, I'm not the person who really needs to be beach ready. And by beach ready, they're talking about being shredded, washboard abs, and all that shit. I mean, I've had abs before. It's nice and everything, but the maintenance that comes from that, and then based off of the goals that I want to do, like I go to the gym to lift heavy weights. And unless you're pounding back a shit ton of gear, you're not going to have abs the way you want them 24/7. And I'm not a person who pounds back gear. You know what I'm saying? I just stay natural. I like having my hair the way it is. So yeah, no, the shredded shit is not for me, man. You get low libido. You're always constantly worrying about food and what you can't eat. It's not worth it, man. And just being honest, most women do not care for that shredded look. They think it's disgusting. That's the harshest reality out there. Like, you'll have some chicks who are into that shit, but the majority of women like you being big because they like something to grab onto or something to keep them warm at night. This whole shredded shit is, honestly, it only appeals to dudes at the end of the day. But what's going on to everybody in the chat? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's happening, man? What's happening? What's happening? Let's see. People don't want to call out or change bad behavior. They want to condemn and judge it. If you don't believe people can learn or change, then what are you even doing? Well, see, that's the thing, Danny. I agree with you, bro. I agree. But at the same time, bro, like, let's be honest, man. Some people, like I said earlier, some people you can't unlearn certain traits. Like I just say it like this: if you are like well into your adult life and you are overtly sexist, overtly racist, all those things, I'm just gonna be honest, like, you are conscious in doing that. Can you change? Sure. But are people gonna still look at you like, bro, you've been like this your entire adult life? Like, there's just some things that is just, I can understand if this was like the 1950s and you had a grandpa who was like racist or everything, and then he reformed his ways within the past like 12 years or so. Okay, I can understand that. But if you were born in America in the past like 30, 40 years and you still on that fuck shit, like, nah, fam. Like, that's just the thing. Like, I'm all for people changing, but some people, you gonna get some pushback regardless if you want to change, you know? Let's see. Okay, $5 super chat again from Marcus Doa Terrell. Thank you, brother. Rewatching the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man films, and I gotta say, with the exception of Spider-Man 2, the movies are pretty overhyped. So, you know, here's the thing, man, and my thoughts, I guess my thoughts will be put into full perspective when I rewatch all the movies this December. But honestly, like, yeah, like Spider-Man 2 out of that trilogy is the GOAT. Like, I've got my issues with the Raimi movies. Everybody knows that. But if I'm looking at them as films, I can watch even Spider-Man 3. I can watch all three of those movies and enjoy them. And I will personally say that they are better than most of the movies. Well, they're better than all the movies that released at that time. And they're still better than some of the movies that we get now, if only from a narrative perspective and the things that they did in that movie. Like, there's some things, like, in terms of the way Sam Raimi shot Spider-Man 1 and 2 that I find infinitely, like, cooler than some of the shit I see in the Marvel movies now. That doesn't mean that I enjoy those movies way better, but there's just some things that they just have that unique style to it. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, whether you're a fan, in my opinion, if you're a fan of the Raimi movies, that's cool. If you're a fan of the Amazing movies, that's cool. And if you're a fan of the Tom Holland movies, that's cool. I've just come to terms with the fact that the Spider-Man movies are just going to exist in their own camp. And if you want to get like that true, definitive, no red tape Spider-Man story, you're going to have to read the comics. Or depending on how Insomniac lands this sequel for Spider-Man PS4, you'll probably have the games as well. Because, I mean, animation, we're not getting good Spider-Man stories. We haven't since Spectacular Spider-Man, and we'll never get that. So, yeah, it's just honestly the comics, and then Into the Spider-Verse, because I fucking love that movie. I love it. $5 super chat from Ryuzaki Koizumi. Man, I've met some ignorant mofos, and their bull has driven me to say some stupid stuff. Yeah, the thing is, man, you're always going to run into those type of people, you know? And the way I look at it is, like, if you've met those people, depending on, like, what your relationship is with them, honestly, I just don't engage. So if I see somebody who is acting, like, for example, YouTube comments, if I see someone, like, let's say I leave a reasonable, level-headed take, and then their first result is to come at me with racist comments, fanboy comments, shit like that, I'm not going to engage with that person. I'm simply not, because it's like, what does it say about you that you couldn't come at me with decency, and yet you want to try to have a civil conversation? Like, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So those type of people, you don't exert your energy towards. You do it. You just, you got to shoulder roll. You just shoulder roll that shit and move on about your day. Like, I've seen some ignorant ass comments in my past, like, 13 years of doing this shit, and then it just doesn't even faze me. So I just be like, moving right along, man. Let's see. Oh, take it easy, Lucky Diamond. Thank you for coming through the stream, bro. Let's see. All right, so we have a lot of questions coming in. Jesus Christ. What are your thoughts on Psychonauts 2 being review bombed? Yeah, I did see that a couple days ago. There's a couple of fanboys who were going on there and review bombing the game. I mean, this has happened before. It happened with The Last of Us Part 2. It happened to a small degree with Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart. Honestly, it's just that fanboy shit, man. review bombing is so fucking lame to me, unless the game is legitimately bad. Like, you saw that shit happen with a couple of the Resident Evil games in the past. Yeah, those, yeah. But if it's just like some fanboy agenda or people doing it because they want to prop up one console or another, it's lame, dude. Like, there's so many other things you could be doing with your life, like touching grass, but you don't. You choose to go onto a website, make a fake review under a fake name just because Xbox better, PlayStation better. It's just so dumb, man. Why don't we take that energy into doing something more productive, like not buying Madden games or not buying NBA 2K? You know, shit that will actually make a change in the industry instead of fucking review bombing. Or a novel concept, we could actually complete video games for a change. I don't know. Do people complete video games anymore, you guys? I don't know. I don't think people do that these days. I don't think people do that. They play sales figures and engagement numbers. That's always the dumbest shit I hear, man. It's like, I hear more people talk, like I said, I throw shade all around, but I hear more people talk about like the Kraken architecture on the PS5, or you know, the fucking Xbox Series X got the secret sauce teraflops, and I'm like, can we just talk about some games, guys? Let me hear about the last indie game you completed. Let me hear about Death's Door. Like, I don't want to hear about how trying to screw on the PS5 stand damn near gave you a conniption. Like, I don't need to hear about that. Oh, man. What's going on, Snorlax? Neo, you speaking crazy now, bro. I know, man. I know. It's a novel concept. Man. It's just dumb. This fanboy shit is so dumb, dude. Like, we can all make jokes here and there, but at the end of the day, man, like, this is just gaming. Just play whatever the fuck you want and shut up, man. At least beat games. Don't hide your trophies. I don't like that. Oh, $6.99 super chat coming in from Colin, my boy. What's going on, bro? Hey, Chris, how are you this evening, man? I'm doing swell, Colin. How you doing, man? How's Canada been treating you? I'm so happy because I have a week off after grinding so much at work. A healthy work balance is vital. Yes. So first things first, Colin, my boy, salute to you. Hope you're doing well, man. I think, well, fingers crossed. I think y'all are supposed to open up your borders in the next couple weeks, right? Well, depending on how things happen, you know, everything is subject to change at this point. But yeah, man, work-life balance is extremely important. And one thing I'm very glad about seeing, because I shit you not, right before this stream, I saw a tweet on Twitter talking about how it was basically discussing how people view like just sitting around relaxing as a waste of time and therefore not being productive. And I see that happen all the time in this whole rise and grind culture. Like, if you're not working, you're not eating, and this, that, and the third. And while that's all well and good, you should definitely maximize your time doing something that will better your life, better your stock portfolio, better all of these things. But one thing that we cannot ignore is the fact that all throughout this whole wake up, grind, rinse and repeat is you got to find time to rest. And when I rest, I'm not talking about just sleeping. I'm just talking about relaxing, decompressing, and just doing things because you want to do it. Period, point blank, no explanation needed, none. And that's something that's very important, especially for a lot of us who are in this content creation game. A lot of people feel like if you're not pumping out content on a daily basis or speaking on something, then you're kind of missing the boat, you're missing the algorithm, yada yada yada. I understand that from a work point of view, but if you're just posting content just to post content and you don't feel anything from it, that's how you get burnt out. And when you get burnt out, trust me, it is hard as hell to dig yourself out of that hole. So I always recommend people just take time, take a couple hours per week and just vegetate, do what you want to do, relax. And if your form of relaxation is sitting on the couch just playing Final Fantasy XIV, not too dissimilar from what I was doing 5 minutes before this stream, then by all means. If your form of relaxing is just going outside for a walk, cool. If it's going out with your friends, if it's whatever you want to do, man, just do that. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because if you burn yourself out doing something that you love, getting back into it is way harder than doing something that you're doing just for a paycheck or something, because that what separates like you getting burnt out from like a job you do like a 9 to 5 versus you getting burnt out from something you love is that regardless of what you do with that 9 to 5, then bills got to get paid. But if it's something that you love and you burn yourself out from it, every time you look at it, you feel some type of way. So I always say, you know, take frequent breaks. Take frequent breaks in between whatever you're doing, whether you're editing videos or even if you're like, let's say, grinding for something on Final Fantasy. Like part of me, because I just speaking of Final Fantasy 14, I just got to Stormblood, right? I was grinding my way through Heaven's Word. I did all the patch quests. I do my dailies, roulettes, all that stuff. And I'm really enjoying the game. But part of me feels as if I don't do my daily stuff for the day, I'm missing out. And that is a very dangerous way of looking at something, because that's when you get really bored of a thing. So I just know that, you know, like if I miss a day or two when I don't play this game, it's all cool, because in the grand scheme of things, I am getting to where I want to be. Hey, I haven't made a video in what, 2 years, and I still feel tired. Oh, you see what happens, Danny? The reason why that happened, bro, is you kept arguing with those fucking Dragon Ball fans, man. Why do you think I pulled back from talking about Dragon Ball, bro? Because all of these dudes is just, they don't read, bro. They don't want to read. All right. Let's see. Do you think there is any real way for consumers to change Nintendo into a more consumer-friendly company? Honestly, Oblivion, my answer is just voting with your wallets. That's the closest thing we got to changing Nintendo, ironically, was during the Wii U days, because that thing wasn't floundering. That thing was flopping. Like the Vita, our beloved Vita, outsold the Wii U. That was the closest time we ever got to Nintendo actually taking user feedback. And if you look at what they did with the Switch, they kind of did. What was the one thing everybody said that a Switch needed? It needed stronger third-party support. So they went out there and they made third-party deals. What was the one thing that everybody said that the Switch needed more focus on? Indie support. So they went out there and they made deals with indie developers. So they did a lot of good things right with the Switch. Now, granted, it's not perfect, and they still have not fixed the Switch Online, and it's kind of crazy because we're in year 5 of the Switch and you can't message your friends, which is so asinine. And the online is basically just a string with a can plugged into a microwave. That's Nintendo Switch Online. Jesus. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. That shit is just dog crap. But the thing is now, I don't think there's really anything we can do to change Nintendo, because we've become a vocal minority, because the casuals are the ones who are really, they're the backbone of the Nintendo Switch. So it's all the mom and dads buying the Switch for their kids, or people who don't use the Switch as their primary gaming platform. Because I'm just going to be honest, I'm sure everyone in the chat will agree. Oh, what's going on, Bryce? Good to see you, bro. The Nintendo Switch is not a primary console. It's not a primary platform of choice because it does not get the biggest games in the industry. It just doesn't. It gets a lot of games, but look at most of the games that are releasing on Nintendo Switch. They're not the games that we're playing on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So obviously people who buy the Switch, they buy it because it fills a different need. That need being Nintendo exclusives and timed exclusive indie deals and portability. Like, let's just be real about life for a second. So for a lot of people, the Switch not having those things that we look for in a PlayStation or Xbox, they're okay with it. So we are outnumbered. The people who want a better Nintendo, who want a stronger Switch, who want all of these things that we've ad nauseum complained about towards PlayStation and Xbox, Nintendo, they can just coast on by, because that the amount of people who have the Switch as their primary console is not the same as opposed to the people who have PlayStation and Xbox as their primary console. PlayStation and Xbox have everything to lose with their core gamers. Nintendo, they don't care if you only buy like 2 or 3 Switch games a year. They don't care if you turn that bitch on. Like, that's all that matters to them. You just come by and you play the Switch to buy Mario Party or to buy Smash Brothers or to buy whatever. So that's the unfortunate reality. I know it sucks, but we at this point, we cannot do anything. We are just too outnumbered. All right, so let's get to some super chats. $5 coming in from the homie Marcus. I want to have this debate with the chat. Do you think any Spider-Man fight has been good as the train fight from Spider-Man 2? All right. So while the chat goes ahead and answers that question, I'm going to be honest. No, like my issues with the Sam Raimi movie aside, and you guys know I have many issues. The choreography and the fight scenes in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies has yet to be topped. I went back and I rewatched the train scene because somebody posted it on Twitter. That whole fight scene right there, I looked back at every single movie from the Andrew Garfield movies to the, let's not even talk about the Tom Holland Spider-Man because that nigga do not be fighting in those movies. Oh my God. But just looking back on it, no fight comes close to being as gritty as that fight in the movie. Period. Bar none. Argue with your mama. That's what it is. Now, Amazing Spider-Man 2 has great spectacle. Like, the spectacle in that movie, the visual effects, what they were able to pull off with that fight scene with Electro is awesome. But if we're talking about, like, a legit fight where you're like, ooh, like, oh shit, like that stuff, nah, that Doc Ock fight is just top tier. $2 super chat from Flame. Kind of how I feel about Destiny 2. Second job. Yeah. And I mean, sometimes you get on and you play the game when you don't want to, but I think the important thing is you got to balance it with everything else you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of Destiny 2, I gotta go ahead and actually put more time into that because I did say when it was crossplay, I'll probably hop on because a lot of my boys, I got a lot of people playing on Xbox, but most of my friends have it on PlayStation, so now I can be carried through my Destiny journey. Been having a tough week, but it's nice to see you streaming today. Oh, thank you, Saki Dog. Seriously, man, whatever you going through right now, my friend, you gonna get through this shit, man. Because we all going through some shit, and we get through this as a unit, man. That's what we do around these parts. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Hope y'all are having a good weekend. Alrighty. Hey, Neo, is Persona 5 really a god tier game, or is it just overhyped? That depends on what you look for in a game. I mean, me personally, Persona 5 is a fucking phenomenal game. I have 2 different copies of this game that are different. Like, if I didn't stress that enough. But I really loved it. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, I can see why somebody who plays a certain kind of JRPG, they might look at Persona 5 and they're like, all right, there's too much talking in that game. Because there's a lot of, there is a simulation aspect to Persona 5. So, yeah, I would say, like I say for everything else, try it yourself. And if you like it, cool. And if it's not your cup of tea, just move on to the next game. I cannot finish games to save my life. Is that my fault? Well, it depends. I mean, I don't know what you got going on in your life. Maybe you don't have a lot of time to play games. So maybe not playing 100-hour plus RPGs should be the move. But honestly, like, if you have trouble finishing games, I think what you should do is just focus on one game at a time that you really like. Don't worry about no backlog. Don't worry about completing games just to say you beat them. Focus on playing games you want to play. And if it's something you really like, you are going to see it through to the very end. But I mean, life happens. Sometimes we play a game and for whatever reason, we put it down, we play something else. Maybe it's not catching us. Maybe it's a buggy game. So there's a lot of factors that go into that, Abdi. So don't feel too bad. Have you seen Corey Kenshin's video yet? If so, how do you feel about it? I have not seen his video yet. Can you give me the rundown of what went down, Leo? Do my parents are those people? Literally, my mom will call me every single day. What are your plans for the day? And what productive thing are you going to do today? Oh my God, just the question is stressful. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's just the thing about parents. I don't know. You know what I think it is? Partly due to the fact that parents, because they've been set in their ways for such a long time, they know their daily routine. And just with how different we're raised nowadays in this social media generation, it's very easy for them to look at us and be like, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Is this really important? Is this going to further your life? It can be extremely stressful. Like, my mom always asks me, like, oh, are you streaming tonight? You know, I was like, well, yeah, maybe I'll stream tonight if I'm feeling up to it, but I'm not just going to stream just to stream. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes I just want to have a personal day and relax. And I've gotten very comfortable telling her that because the important thing is my mental health and what I'm doing going forward. And thankfully, you know, my mom is pretty open and honest about those conversations. So that's a good thing. Do you still have your Vita? Yes, I do. It's in my drawer over there. Let's see. For a $5 super chat coming in from Tunde Ambimbola. What's going on, brother? That's why I love Final Fantasy XIV. The devs designed the game on purpose to not be a second job. That's true, man. That is very true. And one thing I love about that game is that they always make these quality of life. Excuse me. They always make these quality of life improvements for people who have not. Well, not just for people who play the game, but people like me who I took almost a 2-year break from Final Fantasy XIV, mainly because, you know, in 2019 I was very busy working multiple jobs. I didn't really have time to play video games, let alone an MMO. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to pay for Final Fantasy XIV. I'm just going to play my Switch all the time. So in that case, one thing I loved when I came back is that regardless of where you were at in the story, it always shows you what your next objective quest is, which I know for people who don't play MMOs, it might sound kind of weird. It's like, well, dude, just look at your waypoint or whatever. But in Final Fantasy XIV, if you did not accept, there was a time where if you didn't accept the quest, then you had to like fuck around and find out where this quest was. So it's very important that every single time you finish a quest, you pick up the next quest. So if you take some time off, it'll always be there for you. Now it has it where it shows you whatever your next main scenario quest is, and that is such a good quality of life update. $5 super chat from Marcus. I'm gonna say something controversial. I think Far From Home is worse than Spider-Man 3. Sorry, not sorry. All right, I'm gonna be controversial too. The first 65% of Spider-Man Far From Home I did not care for. In fact, I thought that was damn near unwatchable because nothing fucking happens in that movie worth a damn. It's just kids on a school trip and it's not even that much fun. But that last act of Spider-Man Far From Home was quality. At least with Spider-Man 3, even though I was not a fan of what they did to Venom, what they did to Eddie Brock, that is still one of the biggest sins. This motherfucker was posted up in a church saying, God, I want you to kill Peter Parker. Like that. Wow. Like really, that's the best y'all could come up with. Even though I was not a fan of that, I was not a fan of emo Maguire dancing in the street, I would still watch that entire movie over the first 65% of Far From Home. Because that was just, bro, I don't care about Peter and his friends on a school trip. This is not Spider-Man. Oh, man. $5 super chat from Don Otaku. Gotta go. About to watch Candyman eat a tub of mayonnaise for me. Love you, Neo. See, so it wasn't Corey Gryffindor who said it first. It was Don Otaku. But appreciate you, Don Otaku. You have fun watching the movie, man. I've heard some good things about it. I'll probably check it out next week. And no, I will not eat a tub of mayonnaise. That's why don't you tell Rand to do that? It was just his 40th birthday. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Hey Neo, hope you're great. What are your thoughts on the Steam refund policy being abused when a game is less than 2 hours of experience? You know, I mean, I don't really delve too much into like PC gaming and Steam's policies and things like that. I mean, to my knowledge, if you play a game longer than 2 hours, I feel like that's a good judge of what the game is for the most part. Obviously, there are some exceptions, like, you know, let's just say Cyberpunk, for example. There were some people who were playing the game for 2 hours and the game was kind of all right. And then it just started crashing left, right, and center. So are those people wrong for wanting a refund? I mean, technically speaking, their problems didn't happen until later down the road. So, you know, it's got to be a case-by-case basis, man. It's got to be case by case. But people who are just abusing it to be like just a fuck nigga, I'm not a fan of that, man. Like, we've wanted refund policies for the longest time. And the fact that people just come in here and abuse it, that's just the worst. What's up, Neo? I'm strongly considering developing a gaming lounge. In your opinion, why do you think many lounges fail, and what would you love to see in a gaming lounge to make it successful? Thanks. Well, first things first, Mr. O Universe, that is friggin' awesome, man. A gaming lounge? Dude, as a kid, I always, like, this is before I knew about, like, LAN parties and shit like that, but I always wished that there was a place growing up where I could just go and play video games. It didn't matter if it was, like, a fighting game or some type of a shooter, or if I just came to hang out. Like, I always wanted that as a kid. And, you know, as we've gotten older, it kind of evolved into party chats and everything. But just the idea of having a gaming lounge is awesome. I'm not really the best person to ask as far as, like, what you need to make it successful. But I think the important thing at the end of the day, when you strip away the discussion of like, okay, what's the best monitors to get, what platforms to have, what kind of events, blah, blah, blah. The important thing, I think, to anything being a success is to have passion behind it and do it because you love it. These sort of things, obviously, they do take a time to make profit. And in some cases, they don't make profit for a very long time. But I think if you go into this doing it because you love it, I feel like everything will figure itself out at some point. You know what I'm saying? But making sure that you are engaged with the community is extremely important. Making sure you're doing things that get people to want to come to this event is extremely important. Making sure like whatever the rules are, these are the rules, and you don't make any type of special exceptions because, oh, we have this popular streamer here and we don't want to offend him, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's say, for example, if your gaming lounge got really big and you were able to invite Ninja over, don't just make special rules for Ninja and give him all of these things versus all the people who come here and maybe pay their same dues. Because that's how certain places or venues, they kind of get a downfall because they cater to those type of people. So yeah, I would just say just do you, man. Focus on a variety of games that people want to play. So making sure you're up to date on, okay, what's the most popular fighting game? What's the most popular shooter? Maybe highlighting some smaller games that people might want to play. Really listening to community feedback, because I find when you get all of that feedback, good or bad, it gives you knowledge and insight, because you might have thought about things one way, and then you see what a lot of people are saying on this is how it's supposed to be, and you're just like, oh, okay. So if you ever do go about creating that lounge, man, Godspeed. I'd love to check it out if we're within close proximity, because stuff like that is freaking awesome. All right. Oh man. Whew. Okay, so we got a couple more super chats. Because I'm trying to do like one super chat, a couple questions, one super chat, a couple questions. So bear with me, guys. I'm working my way down. $6.99 super chat coming in from Colin, my boy. What are your thoughts on the ongoing R. Kelly trial? Oh shit. I haven't asked the controversial question in quite a while. That's right, Colin. You haven't. But to be fair, you haven't been at all of the streams, because I know you've been grinding at work. But yeah, honestly, I haven't been keeping up with the R. Kelly trial, so we're, I guess, kind of in the same boat as far as like you not asking a controversial question. I haven't been keeping up with that. I mean, the last thing I heard about this whole R. Kelly thing was obviously, that interview he did, and of course the trial was happening. But from what I've seen, and you guys can catch me up to speed about this, it's gotten really bad because they've pinned him to a wall on a couple of things that he was saying no, he didn't, and then they found the proof, and it's just like, oh shit. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just one of those situations, man. You gotta hold people accountable. You have got to hold people accountable. And R. Kelly, that oh boy. Like, I mean, it's just so crazy how there was an episode of Boondocks where it's satirized this entire situation. It's funny how here we are 10 plus years later. It's like, yo, this is actually happening right now, man. It's wild. But what happened with R. Kelly? Anything new? Because last I heard is that they just pinned him to the wall on one point. Let's see. Corey had to deal with personal issues while he was on hiatus. He also mentioned losing passion. However, he then talks about how he still wants to do YouTube because he wants to challenge himself. Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm familiar with Corey. I've seen his content before. He's a cool dude. And yeah, I remember he took quite a, I don't know if it might have been years that he took off of YouTube, because I think he was going through some stuff. But yeah, this happens in this content creation game. There are times when you lose passion, and it just happens with every creative. This happens. And I mean, obviously I'll probably go back and I'll watch the video, Leo, just to get the full context of it. But yeah, sometimes you do need to challenge yourself in some respects, and not necessarily challenge yourself because you're losing passion of doing something. I feel like challenge yourself and take that energy that you would have done into doing like your regular stuff and try doing something different. Because if like you do, like, this is the reason why a lot of people ask me, like, why don't you commentate on all the news that's happening in the industry? Why don't you do like daily videos? Why don't you do this and that? Every now and then I do like coming on here and talking about stuff, but more often than not, a lot of the news that we see circulated in the industry is just stuff I could tweet about, which is why I always say, follow me on Twitter, you guys, because that's where you'll get my raw and honest thoughts about certain things. There are some things, of course, I'll do videos on that are, that are worthy of it. But most things, it's just like, I'm good, fam. I'm good. Which is why I don't really talk about those sort of things. But when I do come back on here and I talk about something, you can definitely tell, oh, Neo was talking about this because he's interested in it. So I think it all comes down to divvying out your energy in a certain way. So, of course, talk about the things that you want to talk about, but also if you're bored of the same old news cycle, maybe pivot into a different direction and talk about different things. And talk about it because you want to talk about it. Okay, let's see. Have you seen the differences between the new PS5 version versus the launch edition? I've seen some things in passing, Panda. From what I understand, it's a little lighter, and they also switched the stand so it doesn't require a screwdriver. That's what I've seen in passing. I don't know if they've made any other changes. But yeah, I mean, if they did that, then I mean, that's gonna dispel a lot of the complaints people had, which was so weird. I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, really, was the stand the be all end all of the PlayStation 5? Like, really? But I don't think, obviously, it was just people complaining on Twitter. I think just for future proofing, you know how they are with these consoles, they always find better ways of doing things and all that. Let's see. Okay, all right. So we have a $5 super chat coming in from Daniel Pack. What's up, Neo? I just got an RTX 3080 from a friend. Minesweeper at 4K has never been so smooth. Like the stream, y'all. I love Daniel Pack's super chat sometimes because it's just like, I just got an RTX 3080 from a friend. Huh? Like, what? And then Minesweeper at 4K. I mean, that is a reason to own an RTX 3080. Like, I'm just being honest, Daniel Pack. Like, what would you want to play at a 3080? Gears 5 max settings? Flight Simulator? Like, who plays those games, bro? It's all about Microsoft Solitaire. Yo, it's so funny because I saw Phil Spencer playing that the other day. I just want to mention him saying, hey, yo, bruh, square up. Oh, man. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure y'all hit that like button. And thank you so much, Daniel Pack, as always, my friend. Let's see. $4.99 super chat coming in from the homie J World. What time you trying to do these drugs tonight, Neo? I'll bring the crack if you bring the heroin. Yo, what? Yo, this man sets his stream reminders one time, and he coming here talking about the slanderous stuff. Sir, I'll have you know that I am a child of God, and this is, as my friend Asbellant100 will say, for the 100th time, this is a Christian YouTube channel, so we do not partake in that wacky tobacco or any of that stuff, bro. The only drugs that I need is the scripture. That's it. That's it. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. $5 super chat coming in from the homie KCube90, aka Kwaku. Would you rather eat... Would you rather eat the booty like groceries or eat a tub of mayo? I feel like regardless of what I answer, I'm gonna lose. I feel like I'm gonna lose, you guys. So I want all of y'all to answer this question honestly. Would you rather eat the booty like groceries or eat a tub? I think he said a tub of mayo. So it's a tub. It's not a jar. It's a tub. Damn. This day extracts a heavy toll. Alright, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say it. I'd rather eat the booty like groceries, man. That's it. That's it, man. Y'all can cook this. Y'all can do whatever, man. I'll eat the booty like groceries before I eat a fucking tub of mayo. Man. Jesus. And we got everyone watching the streams like, oh, Neo gross, bro. Like, nah, fam. It's just the adult thing to do. This man said, call me the booty bandit. Yo! This man said the booty bandit. It depends on whose booty it is, studio. Oh, God. Yeah, it's got to be clean. It's got to be clean, Luis. It's got to be clean, bro. It's got to be clean. But if God created all things, then he made drugs. So that means we are partaking gifts of God, though. I mean, I can't argue with those facts. I cannot argue with those facts. Oh, what do you mean booty? All I see is a delicious peach. Daniel Pack, man of God. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So apparently there's a new heatsink. So there's a new heatsink. Wait, there's a new heatsink? I didn't see that, but okay then. All right. There's a new heatsink on that PS5 model. Okay. Provided it's it makes the system better and not worse. I'm okay. Austin Evans has a video out about it. Okay, I'll go check that out later. I know he's facing 11 counts of criminal sex abuse federal charges. Yeah, he's done, man. He is done. He is definitely done. The Forbidden Peach. All right. Do you think anime will just become seasonal and they won't be dropping a new episode each week like Naruto, Boruto, and One Piece? Well, honestly, Chris, that's kind of where it's been going, bro. The days of annualized weekly shows like Naruto, One Piece, things like that, those days are pretty much done. Everything nowadays is done in season blocks. So you'll have a show come out, it'll be like 12 episodes, 13, 26, 24, things like that. It'll go away for a while, then they'll come out with new content. And honestly, that's the way I prefer to watch shows, because not saying that this is going to fix all the problems when it comes to adapting manga into anime, but one thing that you run into when you have series that run week to week is the pacing gets really fucked up. And by that, I mean, sometimes what they'll do is introduce filler content, or because it's running at a weekly pace and it catches up to the manga, they will stretch out the anime episodes to the point where it could be like a chapter an episode, which is very, very bad. That's what happened with One Piece. The pacing of the newer episodes, while I haven't been watching them because, you know, I just read the manga and then I check in on the anime whenever there's something cool, the pacing is really bad. Like, some people are saying, like, I literally only watch One Piece because it's like 25 minutes out of my week, but I do not look forward to watching it because it's just very much so, wow, this is bad. And that's what happens. So I prefer the seasonal format because it gives them time in between to make the show better. Obviously, that doesn't always happen. Promise Neverland. But it usually gets us away from the filler content and the terrible pacing. It doesn't always happen, but in most cases, yeah. So I'm not really a fan of those week-to-week series anymore, because that can only really be done for shows that are, you know, still ongoing. In this case of One Piece, 20, they just celebrated like 20 years, dude? It's insane. Not even just celebrated. They're at like, what, almost 25? Fucking hell. I haven't seen the latest season of My Hero Academia, but I have not heard the greatest things about it. Of course, I'll have to check it out though. Where's that incredible voice acting at, Neo? Oh, that'll be saved for the streams, Roberto, for the Doki Doki streams. Let's see. The new PS5 is slightly lighter, has a rubber screw for ease of unscrewing, but it runs hotter and consumes more energy. Austin's breakdown was awesome. Oh, that's why you guys have been wondering what I thought about it. Because at first I was like, isn't it just a screw? Like, what? Ugh. Wait, why does it run hotter? Why does it run hotter and consumes more energy? Shouldn't that be the opposite when you have remodels and revisions? Oh, that's weird. That is definitely weird, you guys. Let's see. Neo, watch One Piece. It's the unofficial DBZ Kai version of One Piece. Ooh, I'll keep that in mind, studio. I will keep that in mind. That is yikes, dude. Well, I guess I'm happy I have my launch model then. Let's see. Excuse me. What are your thoughts on Psychonauts 2? So Psychonauts 2, I'm still very early in the game because I've been doing some other stuff. but I'm really enjoying this. The weirdest way I can describe Psychonauts is like, it feels like a game from the mid 2000s, not in terms of how it controls, but it literally feels like a game out of time, where it's like I play this game and I feel like I'm playing the original Psychonauts when it came out. Like nothing about this game has it's like changed itself to be more with like the modern trends of what it means to be a game. Like it really does feel like a game that, well, we came out with Psychonauts 1 and here's Psychonauts 2. Sure, it's prettier, sure it plays better, the combat's better, all that stuff, but it's still that Psychonauts vibe, which is very, very nice, man. In terms of presentation, it's awesome. It's basically like a Tim Burton-esque type of movie, if you want to call it that, because of the way the character designs look and everything. But everything about it is great. You know, you love Double Fine stuff. It's there. It's got great voice acting. It's got great writing. It's just an all-around really awesome game. And it while what it lacks in terms of crisp visuals, like obviously it's not on the level of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, it makes up for it in its own unique style and charm. And honestly, I think it's going to age just as good as that Ratchet and Clank game because it is so unique with its presentation. And I love it, man. It's just so cool. It's so cool. It's not really too often you see games like that. But what do you guys think about Psychonauts 2? Have you played 12 minutes yet? So I started it the day it came out. But honestly, I haven't put a lot of time into it just because the controls were kind of putting me off. Like, that's one thing I'm very particular about the older I get is the controls in games. And that I don't know if it'll play better with the mouse and keyboard, but it just feels really awkward, dude. But I do want to see it through to the end because I've heard some interesting things about where the story goes. So, we'll see. Have you ever got fast food and then your mom has gotten mad? Yeah, that's happened before. Usually when I get fast food and I don't bring her anything back. But more often than not, what happens is my mom, whenever I'm like having like a spontaneous cheat day and I want to go out and get like Popeyes or something, I always ask, "Hey, do you want Popeyes?" She'll be like, "No, it's too greasy, too many carbs, yada yada yada." So I'm like, "All right, bet." And at some point you just get tired of asking. So I remember there was one time a few years ago where I was like, "Yo, mom, I'm going out to Popeyes. You want anything?" She's like, "No, I'm okay." I come back and I get myself a solo dolo meal, which is like, you know, it's like a in that case that night I think I got like a 3-piece with biscuits, fries. I got a chicken sandwich, and no, this wasn't a few years ago. This was it's when chicken sandwiches came out. So that was last year. So I got that everything, and I came through, and my mom was like, "Oh, you didn't bring me anything?" And I was like, "What? You didn't ask for anything. You never want anything." She's like, "Oh, you know, like that's just what happens, man." So honestly, now I just go ahead and I always ask beforehand, just in case. $6.99 coming in from the homie Colin. Would you rather be stranded in the desert without water and only a tub of salt to eat, or spend a night at Michael Jackson's house alone with him? Fuck around. I'll hang out with Michael Jackson. What's he gonna do to me? What the fuck? Hang out at Michael Jackson's house. We'll just watch a movie or something, bro. Popeyes is GOAT. If it ain't real Popeye, it ain't real Popeyes if the employees don't give you an attitude, though. Oh, that's a fact, bro. If I go to Popeyes and I don't hear them employees arguing in the back, I don't want that food. And I know that sounds toxic as fuck, but it's true, man. It's true. It's true, man. Like, the best Popeyes be in places that aren't so great. You know what I'm saying? They're the places where you just got to you got to roll up your windows and lock your doors. Martin Luther King Boulevard. So today I encountered my first Karen. Oh my God, she's nuts. Oh, Jesus. You got to tell this story, Alan. What's going on, Andre? What's up? What's up? How do you ask out girls, Neo? Very simple. If I feel the vibes are right, I'll be like, "Hey, do you want to go out on a date?" That's it. That's what I ask out. I'm very upfront and blunt when it comes to asking women out. I don't do this whole, "Oh, you want to chill? You want to hang out?" Like, I don't do that shit because I'll be honest, niggas ruin the whole game. So I'm very upfront. If I really want to court a woman, I ask her to her face, "Would you like to go out on a date with me?" Because for most women, that sets the expectations. Like, oh, he's taking me out on a date. He's not just asking me to Netflix and chill. So that's what I do, man. I'm just very upfront. That's what I do. Metroid Dread, anyone? That joint looking ill. Yeah, dude, it's looking great. I don't know if y'all have checked out that new trailer. Ooh, I was trying my best not to watch it, but it was all over my feed, so I caught glimpses. Dude, it's looking awesome. I can't fucking wait, man. Your boy Ty $sign hopping in this chat. Hey. It's the Sparky Neo Gamer. What's up? It's the Sparky Gamer Neo. What's up? What's up, Jay? What do you think about the Cowboy Bebop live action? I'm gonna be honest. Them set photos, I looked at that shit. It looks like glorified cosplay to me. Which is very strange considering I've seen Cowboy Bebop cosplay and it looks better than that. It just looks so uncanny valley, bro. Like something about this just seems off. Now, obviously these are just photos. I want to see it in motion to see how it is. I want to see how the story is. I want to see the acting. But my general rule of thumb when it comes to most anime video game properties being adapted is expect the worst. That's it. Don't anticipate the best, but expect the worst. Just expect the worst. And if it's not the worst, then you'll be like, all right, that was all right. All right. So yeah, if I go into this and it sucks, I'm not surprised. But if it ends up being pretty decent, I'll be like, okay, we'll see. But I don't know, man. I just, dude, what kills me the most about like live action anime and live action video game shit is that they get their D teams to work on this, man. They don't get anybody with like pedigree or people who are proven, you know, like proven writers. Like I don't need you to be a well-known writer or director to work on something, but you got to come up with some good shit. But when you see who they put, like Dragon Ball, as big as a franchise it was, look at the people that Fox put on that movie. Fucking D team, writers, producers, actors, director. Like it was bad, bro. So I don't really look at it from like expectations, like, oh, nothing will ever come close to Bebop. It's not even that. It's just you guys aren't even putting forth the effort. You're just saying like, well, we have this idea for a really crappy show, but it's way easier if we take this and put a popular license on it. So we'll get butts in seats or we'll get clicks. We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. Netflix's track record is not the greatest when it comes to live action anime. Rurouni Kenshin is the best live action adaptation I've seen. Same. I loved it, man. The Gintama one was good too. You still play with your Series S? Oh yeah, absolutely. The Series S I keep downstairs in the family room because that's my secondary console when I want to get away from the workstation. I play Destiny down there, play some multiplayer games down there. So yeah. Thoughts on the Halo Infinite release date? It's so weird, man. I feel like that was the latest release date they could have given the game. And at that point, I'm just thinking like, damn, maybe y'all should have delayed this to next year. Because if it's already going to be launching in December after the Game Awards, you could have just waited a few more months. But, I mean, it's coming out December 8th. We'll see how this is. I really hope the game doesn't launch. I mean, it can't launch broken. It can't launch with bugs. It cannot, man. They're already not launching with co-op Forge. So it's got to come out and be great. Not just great, it's got to be exceptional. Anything less than that, I feel like we're shortchanging ourselves with how long we've been waiting, with how long it's been in development. I'll watch for the dog. Yeah, Ein is definitely a reason to check it out. Because we need more corgi representation. I live for those Karen moments. I used to work at an ice cream store and this lady pulled all the brownies out of the container and started throwing them at me. Definitely a highlight of my life. Oh, Jesus, dude. Like I said, there's part of a reason why I can't work in certain jobs. Because if I had a Karen do that shit, first off, I just look at her and I'd be like, wow. But I'd be that type of person to record that shit and post it online and be like, yo, this is what it gets up to. These are all the Karens. Like, I'm that type of person where if you acting stupid, let me put you on full display for people to see. But if you're one of those people that tries to come to me, like step to me like it's my fault that something is a thing when it's not, I'm like, nah, man, I might swing on somebody. Because some of these Karens and all these dudes, they really try it, bro. They really try it. I don't know. I don't know if they're not getting dicked down properly or what, but dude, Jesus Christ. All right, let's see. $4.99 coming in from Each Shore. Hey, Neo, hope you're good. I'm doing swell, man. How you doing? not to bring the tone down, but what are your thoughts on the Taliban situation going on in the world right now? Yeah, it's, I mean, I could sit here and like, again, like we were talking about earlier with the whole heavenly situation. I can sit and talk about this thing for like a whole hour. It's just an unfortunate situation all around, from the refugees to the Americans that are there, and everything that is happening. It's just, it really sucks. The leadership surrounding the situation, I definitely think needs to be called into play. There needs to be accountability as far as that's concerned. It was not the smoothest of transitions that is happening. And I mean, that's the extent I could really say. Like, I know it's not the greatest answer in the world, but it sucks, man. It's terrible that people are losing their lives right now because of that. All right, $2 super chat coming in from Flame. Well, anyways, you ready to play Halo Infinite co-op? Ouch, Flame. $4.99 super chat from J World. At 62,000 subs on YouTube, do you get clout from it in your personal life? People recognizing you in public, girls finding out about your channel? Yeah, man, I've gotten recognized quite a bit from YouTube, man. I get recognized every now and then. Like when I go to like the grocery store, there might be a subscriber who works there. Every now and then I'll run into somebody when I'm on the subway in the city. And dude, I think the craziest interactions I've ever had was when I was at the, first off, at my job that I work at, because I work at my job. It's a really big operation, so we have hundreds of employees. So I remember I was doing my assignment, and then I had somebody, come to help with the assignment and everything, and he looked at me, then he looked back, and he looked at me again, and he was just like, "Are you NeoGameSpark?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, what's going on?" He's like, "Damn, nigga, you tall as shit." So that was one of the craziest interactions I had. Somebody at the job who I didn't know, they just recognized me. And mind you, bro, like, this was pre-COVID, so we weren't wearing masks or anything. But, I had my transition shades on, so you couldn't see what my eyes looked like. All you could see was my face. And he's like, "Oh my God, that's Neo." So I was like, "Damn, bro, you got good eyes. Holy shit." But one of the craziest things was when I was at the airport and we were getting ready to queue up for the flight. Like, how they say, okay, group 1 board, priority pass board, whatever. And I remember I stood up and I was just waiting on the line, and then somebody just like taps me on the shoulder, and I was like, and then he's just like, "Yo, bro, I watch your videos." Like, he didn't even say, "Are you against?" He was like, "I watch your videos, bro." And I was like, "Oh shit, man, thank you, respect, bro." And that was the craziest thing, because like we were going from JFK to Dallas. Like, we were on the same flight. That was fucking insane. So yeah, it happens every now and then. I mean, as far as girls are concerned, I mean, I've had it happen, like when I go to conventions and everything, I run into like female subscribers and everything, but not no like fangirls falling out like, "Oh my God, it's Neo." Blah, blah, blah. Like, most of the women I've come in contact with, they conduct themselves accordingly, and then we hang out. Like, I remember one time I met up with a sub at E3. And like, I just met up with her earlier, and I was just like, "Yo, they're having this open bar after party. Come through and hang with us." And she came through, and we all had a great time together. So yeah, it happens, man. But at the end of the day, I'm just me, man. Whether somebody recognizes me or not, that's all cool. Like, a lot of people think that, oh, like you don't feel weird that no one here recognizes you. And I'm like, why should I? I'm no different than anybody else in this realm, whether I have like 62,000 subs or 62 million subs. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just a regular person. I don't use my internet fame to get me anywhere in life. Like, I've had opportunities where I've gone places and they're like, "Oh, no, let me rush you to the front of the line so you can play this game and everything." And that's cool, but I don't go out there and say, "Oh man, is there any possibility you could do this because of my YouTube channel?" But I don't do that shit, man, because I just don't feel the need to do that. I am literally no different than anybody else on this site watching this stream right now, man. And that's something that a lot of content creators, not just content creators, but like celebrities and people, they forget. Like, they think just because they are this person in the entertainment world, that means they should get special treatment and all that. I'm like, nah, nigga. Like, what do? You act in movies. Like, what do? You stream on Twitch. Like, come on now. You're not out like saving lives. You're not as a doctor. You're not doing these things that are making our society go round. I'm not trying to discredit entertainment jobs like that. All I'm saying is I would much rather first responder during COVID or an essential worker during COVID, I'd much rather they go to the front of the line as opposed to me because I'm doing videos on YouTube. Like, let those people do their thing. And I know that's not the best thing to say, considering you're selling yourself too short, Neo. Like, people got a lot out of your entertainment. I get it. But me being the person I am, I'd much rather like the actual people saving lives right now get that treatment, you know? That's me, man. That's just me. Yo, I tap on someone's shoulder before and shiz like at the con. Yeah, that's how it is, because you don't really freak them out, you know? Let's see. Neo, have you ever thought of this? The Loki series is about a Karen, Sylvie, trying to reach the manager of a black-owned business, Jonathan Majors, to file a complaint. No, yeah, it's true, man. That was one of the first things that me and my homeboy were talking about. We were just like, yo, it would be a white woman to fuck the whole multiverse up. It would be a white woman to fuck the whole multiverse up. Well, shit, we got two now. We got fucking Scarlet Witch, Sylvie, and then now Tom Holland. So damn, what is it with the white people fucking with the multiverse, bro? What is going on? Damn, Doctor Strange 2. Fuck. Like I said, Kang, Jonathan Majors was like, you can do it. Jonathan Majors literally told Sylvie, fuck around and find out. That is literally what he said. And she did. Would you mind trading your 6'4" height for my 5'5" height? Oh no, I'm good, Chief. I like it. I like it being up here. I mean, it is kind of hard fitting in planes and sometimes finding shoes, but I like it up here. I love it. He's like, yeah, us white people be crazy, bro. Listen, if I was in a horror movie, you want to know what my role would be in the horror movie? The dude that doesn't go downstairs in the basement when they hear a noise. The dude that is sitting at his door with a loaded shotgun. Like, that's the dude. I stay at my door and I wait for the danger to come to me. I don't go searching for that shit. I don't do that, man. It's like me and my homeboy. Yo, you heard something downstairs? Nah, I didn't hear anything. End credits. That's it. J-World, if we were in a horror movie, that's how the movie would go. Like, yo, you hear that? Nah, I didn't hear nothing, bro. I bet. Aaron the Conqueror. Oh shit, Bernie, that's true, bro. That's true, man. Neo would knock the monster over. I wouldn't even involve myself, man. What if, like, you know how sometimes these people in these movies go looking for the danger, and sometimes the danger just wants to be left alone. And it's like, nah, fam, let that creature mind his own business, bro. The best celebrities are the humble ones. Example, Keanu Reeves. Yeah, celebrities who just mind their business, bro. Or, you know, I was going to say Ashton Kutcher, but then I remember he don't bathe his kids. And that is a whole different assault on my personal life and my nostrils. So, yeah, but Ashton Kutcher, I mean, he minds his business. He actually does something with his clout when it came to the sex trafficking thing. Like, he brought real awareness to that. Dude, we need an updated room tour and collection update for the next year. It'll officially be 10 years since your last one. Damn, Colin, you're making me feel old, bro. But yeah, I really got to do that, man. I really have to. But the thing is, because the one shelving unit that I want, because the thing is, I'm getting rid of this big fixture that I have here, because honestly, it just takes up too much space in the room. And I want to replace it with shelves on the walls. So I'd build shelves onto the walls and then put everything there. Sure, it won't look as dynamic, but it will free up a lot of space. So once I get that situated, I'll do that. But then it comes down to finding the desk for this setup. And the desk I always wanted is always sold out. And it's like, oh, 3-month wait. I'm like, ugh, I'll probably just settle on something, you know? Did you know that Disney's making live action movies for Hercules, Pinocchio, Atlantis, Tron, Peter Pan, and Tangled? Ugh, it's going to be garbage. Yeah, I've heard some talks back and forth with a lot of those movies. I know Peter Pan is probably the closest to being done. And I mean, Disney, like I said, they ran out of all their original ideas. So what do? Remake movies that came out, in the case of Tangled, 10 years ago. Holy shit. But yeah, that's what the mouse is going to do, man. The mouse is going to do what prints money. And right now, the Disney remakes are printing money. I mean, granted, like only a handful are good, but yeah, they gonna do it, man. They gonna do it. I'm not gonna watch them, but they gonna do it, bro. They gonna fucking do it. 90% of those horror movies would be solved by minding your business. Facts. That's what I'm saying, man. Yes, I am currently playing Psychonauts 2, Emmy. Neo, do you think Game Pass is good value? I have quite a few friends who have PlayStations and they meme about Game Pass all the time. What are your thoughts? Well, value honestly is kind of subjective, Zach. Do I think Game Pass is a good value? Absolutely. And I think as the years progress, the value is going to be undeniable from a perspective of here are all these $60, $70 games launching day and date, and all you have to pay is $15 a month. That is a great value. However, if you don't care about any of those games, or if you buy all of your games and you don't use Game Pass, it might not be a value to you. So at the end of the day, I just say, shut up and play your games. That's it. You know, a lot of people like to meme saying, oh, Game Pass is just like dollar store games, what have you, and all this nonsense. I wouldn't sit here and argue with them over that. You want to know why? Because it's not worth it. Because there aren't 99-cent games on Game Pass. Like, anyone who sits here and tries to say that, it's just, all right, I'm not going to have this discussion with you. So if they think that, yeah, Game Pass is just nothing but a glorified rental service, whatever, I'm like, all right, bro, you do you. You have fun. You know, I'm not even going to throw some shade saying, like, y'all were ready to pay $70 for Destruction All-Stars before they flipped it into a PS Plus game. I'm not even going to do that because it's not even worth it at the end of the day, because then they'll get angry. Then it'll be a whole back and forth nonsense where it's really not worth it. So I just say, shut up and play your games. Whether you subscribe to Game Pass or you want to pay $70, provided you are having fun and playing games, that's all it is. And if people still want to do this console war shit, I'm like, oh, y'all have fun. Y'all go do that. I appreciate that, Colin. Yeah. Ooh, the 4K collection is gonna be glorious, man. Because I've been upgrading a lot of my Blu-rays to 4K. 76 viewers, but 58 likes. Hit that like button. Yes, that is right, Asbel. If y'all are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. Tremendously. All right. Doesn't Tron 3 have Jared Leto or someone? They've been trying to do a new Tron movie for the longest time, man. That is such a cool IP, and they just fumble the bag constantly. Or they just don't want to do anything with it. Thoughts on the Chucky TV series? I'm kind of indifferent. Like, I feel like they keep rebooting Chucky. Or they do, like, reboot movies, then they do, like, a sequel movie to the original canon, and now this. So, I don't really have too much to say, D'Angelo. Do you think there's any chance Persona 5 comes to Xbox / Game Pass? I feel like it could be huge and build hype for Persona 6. Yeah, honestly, I feel like Persona on Xbox is not a case of if, rather it's a case of when. And I think it comes down to when Atlas wants to port it. Because the thing is this, you guys. The thing people got to realize about Atlas is they have no sense of urgency when it comes to their back catalog of games being brought forward. Just look at how many games that they have ported from like the older Shin Megami Tensei titles to now. It's damn near non-existent. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Remastered, that shit came out broken on release. And it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, y'all don't remaster games. The first time you do it, this shit sucks. Wow. And then Persona 4 Golden, it took them like almost 10 years to put that game on a platform outside the Vita. And it's so weird, man. But it's just a case of Atlas Japan being out of touch to what the rest of the world wants. I know for a fact Atlas West is definitely more in tune with the consumers versus Atlas Japan, because they're always the ones putting out the fucking surveys and saying, voice your opinions or voice this, voice that, and blah, blah, blah. And so when Persona 4 Golden finally came to PC, they were like, oh, we are pleasantly surprised with the sales of this game. Really, the game that literally every single time somebody tweets about it, it damn near goes viral. Like, every single time people talk about games that they want re-released, Persona 4 is at the top of those lists. Like, you don't need to do that much market research to know that, maybe people want to see Persona on other systems. And the first time you put a Persona game on a platform that has a huge install base, that being Persona 5, it sells like crazy. So Atlas, dude, all we need are ports of all these old games. They're not going to take that much time and money by comparison to making a new game, and people are going to buy it. put that on everything. PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch, mobile. People are going to buy it, but they just don't want to do it, man. They don't want to do it. It's Sega that's got to push them, unfortunately. Yeah, dude, look, bro, what Sega's doing with Yakuza. Yakuza used to be primarily a PlayStation franchise. It was only ever on PlayStation. Every now and then they'll do like small games. They did like Yakuza 1 and 2 on the Wii U, and that thing sold like a grand total of 6 units. I'm not even kidding. Go look that up. But when they started branching out and putting the games on PC, it did really well. And then they're like, you know what? Let's talk to Xbox. They brought it to Xbox, put it on Game Pass. That series exploded. And then they brought Yakuza Like a Dragon to Xbox. They brought Judgment to Xbox. They're bringing the sequel everywhere, except PC, unfortunately, which sucks. But this is what happens. Like, now more than ever is a time to re-release all of these games because you have big install bases. And with the advent of social media, you don't even need to go crazy with the marketing. All you have to do is just let the community speak for you. And these games will sell. That's all it is, man. Atlas, we're scared of money. Don't make us port. They're like George Bush in that Family Guy sketch when they were talking about, what did they say? It's like, Mr. President, you have to address the situation in Katrina. And then George Bush was like, don't make me do stuff. That's literally Atlas. Don't make me port stuff. That's what it is, man. Persona 4 Ultimax remaster, please, or Persona 5 Arena. I'd be fine with that too. Yeah, there's always rumors about them either remastering Ultimax or them coming out with a new one. Game Pass is fantastic value, period. But I love collecting physical media, so for me, I don't really need it because I'm buying my games I love regardless. Depends on what kind of gamer you are. Yeah, honestly, Bernie, that's what it comes down to. Like, there's some people who only game for Call of Duty and 2K. So for them, they might not care about Game Pass. Or there might be somebody who plays Call of Duty and 2K and they subscribe to Game Pass because they got it for $1 and they're like, yo, there's a shit ton of games. So they might like Game Pass. So the thing, I think the constant is that you can't paint every single gamer into the same box. And I think that's what's really important. Now that Soulja Boy owns Atari, do you think he'll make them great again? Well, Soulja Boy got to stop attacking black women on Twitter. That's what he needs to do. I saw your Twitter. You've tweeted a few times about Cobra Kai. What do you think about that show? Cobra Kai is fucking awesome, dude. I had my reservations about them doing, first off, a sequel series to an 80s series, and then also doing a series that's not really focused on the main character in that movie. But I really love the way they've handled it because they've developed the characters and they put the older characters in different situations and they give them such good development that doesn't run counterintuitive to what it was in the movies. Like, you know how sometimes when they'll revive like an 80s property, they'll try to like paint the characters in a different light and you're just like, are these even the same characters? What the fuck? But with Cobra Kai, I think it's very important because it shows that, you know, we live lives longer than what you see in that 90-minute, 2-hour runtime. So depending on how that character progressed, they could go down this path. And when you see them again, they're still the same characters, but it's just like a completely different situation they find themselves in. So I think it was great. And I loved how they kind of leaned into the fan theories online about Daniel potentially being the bully all along. Like the people who work on Cobra Kai know what the fuck they're doing. Like these are the kind of people who should have done the Star Wars sequel trilogy in terms of handling it with love and care with characters and all that stuff. Like Cobra Kai is one of the few revivals of a classic franchise that I absolutely adore. And even if, like, let's say for example, it fizzles out and like the last season is not that great, everything we've gotten up to now has been phenomenal that I'll just be like, yo, I can confidently recommend this show to people. I feel like Nintendo keeps blocking their own bag with how much the Switch could potentially do. I want to be able to live nostalgically and play N64 and GameCube games. Well, here's the thing, Sawyer. Nintendo, they ain't blocking the bag. They making their money regardless. Nintendo makes money with the bare minimum. Nintendo does not need to go out there and create a proper online infrastructure. They don't need to go out there and do a proper virtual console system. They don't need to do anything that would, in our terms, print money. Do you want to know why? Because they are making money hand over fist selling 10-year-old Wii games for $60. They are making money hand over fist just existing. So as fucked up as it is to say, Nintendo is the type where if they don't see anything rocking the boat, then they good. They straight, man. So they don't want to take risks. They don't want to do anything that could potentially backfire. Even though something like gatekeeping support is what we've wanted for the longest time, Nintendo's like, no, we don't want to do that. No, we're making money here. Don't question that. What are your thoughts on the 2003 Teen Titans series? I'm currently watching it properly for the first time, and I'm really enjoying it. The characters are an absolute delight. I love Teen Titans 03, man. It's so fucking good. It's funny. It's just got a really good vibe to it, and I love how deep it got at times, you know, with what Robin was going through, Raven, like every character in that show has got something to them. They've got layers, and it's a shame they never continued it. I mean, they got Teen Titans Go, which I've watched, and I think it's funny at times, but that's not the Teen Titans show for me. That's for kids. Even though 03 was for kids, it was different. It's kind of like, it's kind of like how you have something on the level of Spider-Man, the animated series, or Spectacular Spider-Man. They're both for kids. We all know that. They're made with kids in mind. They were on kids' cartoon blocks. But they are totally different by comparison to the new Spider-Man shit they got coming out, which is like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell a show that's aimed at kids, but it's just a well-produced show, and a show that is, okay, we're literally doing this just to make toys. You can tell the big difference, man. You can tell the big difference. You're calling Metroid Dread a Wii game? Oh, no. I'm talking about Skyward Sword HD, Maddie. I really used to think Slade was Batman in disguise. Yo, wow. That's the first time I've ever heard something like that. But dude, I love the whole Slade Robin dynamic in that show. Holy shit, it was so good. Nintendo has really got to start charging us $60 for Skyward Sword. That looks the same. It's way too overpriced. But here's the thing, Zach. We complain about it, but I guarantee you, we are not the people buying that game. The people who are buying that game are folks who love Zelda, casuals who just want a new game on Switch, or people who are like, you know, I never played Skyward Sword. I'll give it a shot. Literally, that's all it is, man. We are the minority in that respect. I can sit here and bitch, whine, and moan, complain about all that stuff, but it's not going to matter because I don't say this because you guys know I always say vote with your wallets, but I am in such a minority in this case because the vast majority of the people want this stuff and they're going to buy it regardless. Like, and even some of the people who I fucks with in the community, they're like, yeah, well, you know, vote with your wallet, blah, 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 but I'm gonna still buy this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I don't like $70 games, but I'm gonna still buy it. Like, it's just one of those things, man. That's why I don't. You see, the problem with ethics is that you either have them or you don't. And when you start making exceptions like, oh, I'm buying this because it's from this developer, blah, blah, blah. That's why I don't come on here and say that I'm anti $70 games or I'm anti this, anti that, because it's dumb. I can't say I'm anti $70 games when I know if Persona 6 comes out and it's $70, of course I'm going to buy the game. Of course I'm going to buy the game. But when people out here say, no, I'm anti $70, anti this, it's like, all right, so what about when your favorite developer comes out with that game and you're really excited for it? What are you going to do? Wait for it to go on sale? Use Best Buy coupons? That's why it's just, people are very fickle with these sort of things. I understand taking a stand when it's necessary, like how when we took a stand against like, you know, the whole used game situation Xbox was trying to do and all that stuff. Like, that's good stuff. But if it's something that's like a price increase, you've got to cut it off all across the board and not make exceptions. And for some people, they can do that. And more power to those people. I have no problems with the people who are anti $70 video games because they actually talk the talk. They don't buy the $70 games. But when I see a lot of people out here saying that, oh no, this is fucked, terrible, and they still buy it, those companies at the end of the day, that's all they care about. That's why I don't come out here and you know, like, too many people like to just feel like they're sitting on top of a mountain with a flag and just being so righteous, like they're about to rush into war. And I'm like, bro, it's video games. Calm down. People like to use double standards on unnecessary things. Tech Engine, that's right, bro. That's right. My Switch been collecting dust for almost a year. Same. Dude, I haven't turned on my Switch since well, I'm about to, because No More Heroes 3 came out. But I haven't turned on my Switch since Hades last Christmas. I haven't really been playing that shit, bro. Because honestly, for me, there hasn't been a lot of stuff on the Switch I wanted to play. And the stuff that is on the Switch, it's probably going to come to PC at some point. And I'd much rather wait and buy the game there so it's not running at like 480p, 30 frames per second. You're absolutely right. Nintendo rests on their laurels because they know people eat it up. I'm guilty of being one of those people. Yeah, Bernie. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we all have our own thing. Like for example, perfect example. When it came down to like the topic of re-releasing Wii games, you know what I'm saying? I was like bitching at Skyward Sword HD and how, yeah, it's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But I know if they come out with Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess, and if they do it in a combo pack, Nintendo would never do that. If they came out with Wind Waker HD on the Switch, my dumbass would probably buy it because I fucking love Wind Waker. It is what it is. That's why I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong if you buy it. All I'm saying is keep that same energy. If you complain about $70 games, but buy Skyward Sword HD, that's a problem. But for me, I'm not complaining about $70 games, and I'm also not complaining if you buy Skyward Sword HD, because at the end of the day, it's your fucking money. And if you want to enjoy, if you buy something because you feel like you are going to get enjoyment out of it, who in the world am I to tell you otherwise? Like, there's people out there who bought the Avengers game. Now, obviously, I'm not. I think it's a waste of time, considering you're not getting that much for the time you grind, but people find enjoyment in it, and who am I to take that away from them? So, yeah, that's all it comes down to. Let's see. Metroid Dread will get me to turn my Switch on again. Yep, same. I'll probably, you know what I'm going to do? Because I still got to go through and replay the first 2 No More Heroes games. I'll probably do that. I'll probably start that soon. And then just end up picking up 3. Because I haven't picked up 3 yet. It only came out yesterday, so I'm acting like, I was like, oh my god, I gotta do it. But I am probably just gonna buy it just to support Suda51, because with the amount of time he's been trying to get this game off the ground, bro, I just gotta buy it. Even if I'm not gonna play it for a while, I'll just buy it just to have it. And then when I do play it, I'll play it. I'm also hoping, because part of me thinks it might come to PC, because Travis Strikes Again came to PC, and the other 2 No More Heroes games came to PC. No, I gotta buy it for the collection. I gotta have a physical copy. I have to. I use my Switch for Final Fantasy IX. That's awesome, dude. Hades is awesome. I'm anti $70 games that are riddled with microtransactions from EA and 2K. They've made more than Companies like 2K and EA have more than made up for inflation year in and year out. Yeah, that's the thing, Reed. I totally get that. I totally understand that. And those are the type of games that I personally believe people should support, because that's what sets a precedent in the industry, as opposed to Ratchet and Clank launching for $70. But like I said, people go and buy it. Like, obviously we complain about it, but there's millions of people who spend millions of dollars every year on those franchises, and it kind of sucks, man. It kind of sucks because they could be so much better. They used to be so much better. Like, the last NBA game I really played was NBA 2K11, and that was the most amount of fun I had. I mean, I played 2K13. They gave away 2K16 on Plus a few years back, so I played that a bit. But honestly, to me, it's like releasing them annually is only done so they can have an annual game for the revenue. That's all it is. Because all they really need to do is just make one game and then update it over years. That's all they fucking need to do. That's all they need to do. But obviously they're not going to do that, because it's way more lucrative to just repackage the game and then sell you a whole new monetization model. That's the sad reality. $2 Australian super chat from Maddie. Gabe punished us by gifting us Avengers on PC. Well, the thing is, I actually got sent Avengers from Square Enix, so I was playing that, and I didn't really get much out of it, but I did dive back in for the Wakanda expansion, and that's pretty cool. But that's the thing, I'll dive in for these expansions they do, but it's not gonna be like a Destiny or Final Fantasy 14 for me, because the grind just ain't worth it. With Final Fantasy 14, yeah, there's a grind, but I feel like I'm getting stuff out of it. There's new parts of the story, the character classes, leveling up are very fun. In the Avengers game, I mean, yeah, the combat is cool when you level up the characters, but just everything else, like the gear that you get, is not even like, yo, I feel great when I grind for awesome gear on Final Fantasy. With the Avengers game, I just be looking at this shit, I'm like, is this really fucking worth it? And it's not even all cosmetic shit, because, you know, because the whole Disney and Marvel shit, they don't let you be 100% customizable to the way that you are in like an MMO, if you guys get what I'm saying. So for me, that grind ain't worth it. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to get me motivated to play my Switch again. I'm super excited to get my first Switch Steelbook. Yes, that's right, Colin. I think my first Switch Steelbook was... might have been Fire Emblem Three Houses. Somebody will correct me in the comment section. Like, actually, Neo, it was this game. Yeah, I think it was Fire Emblem. But yeah. Switch has Shin Megami Tensei 5, No More Heroes 3, Metroid Dread, and then Advance Wars this year. So there's a couple games to play on Switch. You think Psychonauts 2 could be a Game of the Year nomination? I'm not far enough to say whether it's Game of the Year or not. I'm really liking it. But I haven't got to the point where people are like, yo, Game of the Year. So I'll see. Do you think Game Pass is spoiling gamers to the point now they just don't want to pay for any game? I mean, value is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder. So there's definitely some people out there who say if it's not on Game Pass, I'm not gonna buy it, which is their prerogative. But I think they're kind of missing out on a lot of games out there, because not every game is going to come to Game Pass, and nor should you expect every game to come to Game Pass. It's awesome. A lot of them are, and it's great because it saves us money and we can play with our friends easier. But if a game's not coming to Game Pass, I'm cool. I'll just buy the game. That's it. So yeah, there's going to be a certain group of people who are going to say shit like, oh, not on Game Pass, don't care. I'm just going to look at them really funny, you know? Like, no, don't say that, dude. Like, the Yakuza games are all on Game Pass, but I still bought them. You want to know why? Because I like supporting the developers. And yeah, they did strike a deal with Microsoft, so they are supported. But I like having those games on there. And if there does come a time, because there probably will, where the games are off the service, I still have them there. And that's how it is. Too bad Advance Wars 1 and 2 is fucking $60. Yep, that's Nintendo, bro. And that's part of the reason why I'm not going to be buying it. I'll spend $60 on Metroid Dread before I spend $60 on Game Boy Advance games. $1.99 coming in from Ichor. What are your main classes in Final Fantasy XIV? So right now I'm only focusing on 2 classes because I'm not trying to do so much at once. I'm really trying to focus on catching up on the story. Like I said, I just started Stormblood, so I'm going through that. I think it's got like 100 plus missions, so that's going to take some time. And in addition, when I'm not doing Stormblood, I'm also trying to level up my character classes. And the thing I've noticed is you want to really focus on one thing at a time. So my main class is a Dragoon. He's level 60, about to hit 65, if I remember correctly. So he's about to be 65. That's been my main class since I started the game many moons ago. But my secondary class he's another DPS, but he's a ranged DPS. So he's a summoner. And I really wanted to do a magic type of class because, I don't know, I just looked at some videos online. I was like, oh, wow, it seems cooler to play as like a magic build, and just the things you can pull off in there with the dots, damage over time for those who don't play MMOs, and all that stuff. It just seemed cooler and more engaging than my Dragoon at the time. Now, granted, a lot of these classes really come into their own when you start getting upwards of level 60. But between the two of them, I love playing as my summoner. I really do. Even though like my gear is all kinds of fucked up, and that's why I'm grinding towards getting better gear. I love playing as the summoner because I like his rotation a lot, and I kind of peaked into the like 60 plus rotation, and it gets really crazy, man. I can't wait. But he's actually really close to the Dragoon. I've been really leveling him up quick. He's level 55. And then after that, I looked at some of my other classes. I have a rogue who's like level 18. I'll debate what I want to do with him afterwards, because I already have two DPSs, and eventually I do want to get everything, but I want to start doing different roles. I want to start tanking. I want to start healing. So I'll probably start gaming with my Scholar, because, you know, Scholar and Summoner level up at the same time, which is awesome, but I kind of have to get into the mindset of how to play as a Scholar. So right now, like I said, my usable classes are Dragoon and Summoner. And by usable, I mean anything that's like upwards of 50. I have a Rogue that I could level up, but I really want to get into other things. So, I mean, I've seen some really cool classes that are out there, and I'm like, holy shit, those are awesome. But again, I got to focus on like one thing at a time. But does anyone in here play Final Fantasy XIV? Let's see. I'd say my favorite game this year is Resident Evil 8, though that might change soon, though. Yeah, Resident Evil 8's a really good game, man. Resident Evil 8's really good. Honestly, my favorite game that I played, this is going to sound really strange, you guys, but Death's Door. Death's Door is honestly my favorite game so far. Like, of course, Ratchet and Clank is up there, Resident Evil is up there, and depending on how I feel about Neo, The World Ends With You, and Greatest Attorney, they could be up there too. But right now, Death's Door, like, that game was freaking amazing. Is Hades really good? I haven't tried it yet. What's it like? Hades is awesome. Just try it out. Just fucking try it out, man. Just try it out, Zach. Just do it, bro. Just do it. Yes, it has an incredible replay value. Hey, Dragoon Club. Oh, you play Dragoon too, Corey. Awesome. On break, but I'm on Stormblood. Okay, okay. $5 super chat coming in from Ryazaki Koizumi. You get an M2 drive and the beta firmware yet on PS5? I'm currently running it with a 2TB Samsung 980 Pro. So no, I haven't bought an internal SSD for my PS5, Ryazaki, just because I haven't run out of space on my PS5. To be honest, on my PS5, I only have a handful of games because, you know, when you game on multiple platforms, you just never run out of space unless you play like big ass games like Call of Duty or Destiny. But yeah, on my PS5, I only have a handful of games installed. Like, what do I have? I have, of course, Final Fantasy XIV installed. That's never leaving. Detroit Become Human, because I'm finishing that up. I've got 13 Sentinels, Neo, The World Ends With You, God of War 3, because I really want to replay that. And, I mean, other than that, like, yeah, Returnal and Doki Doki. But I still haven't run out of space, so I don't really need more space yet. But I know down the road I definitely want to install another SSD just to have extra space and not have to worry about it. But right now I don't really have a storage issue. But I can totally understand if PS5 was your primary platform, that 667 gigs is, I mean, isn't the new Call of Duty going to be like 270 gigs? That's fucking insane, man. Is Death's Door on Game Pass? No, it is not on Game Pass. But the game is really cheap. It's like $20. Neo, The World Ends With You is great so far. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear, Asbel. I've heard really good things about it. I'm working my way up to Heaven's Word, and my main right now is Paladin, and I'm leveling my monk as of recent. Nice, dude. I really want to get into, I want to play Dark Knight, and Dark Knight, Red Mage. I forgot, what was that one class that was really cool? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'll eventually probably get every single class just because, like, if I'm gonna spend all the time on the game, I want to play different characters and see where I go. But I've heard good things about the monk. Dude, Death's Door is awesome, Maddie. Seriously, dude, you have to play that. What I love about Death's Door is that it's like baby's first challenging Souls game. It's not a Souls game in the sense that, like, you have all these hard bosses that you got to go and fight and live, die, repeat. But it's got elements to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, every single enemy you kill gives you currency that you can spend to upgrade stuff. And it's just very, like, I cannot say enough about how they perfectly balance that game and how it's very easy for newcomers. Very easy for newcomers, but at the same time being challenging at the same time. Do you have Genshin Impact on PS5? No, I do not play Genshin Impact. A lot of my friends do, though. Yes, It is a very traditional old school Zelda type of game. Oh my God. And that's what I love about it. When you get an item and you're like, oh my God, I can backtrack and go to certain places, then use this item. It's great, man. Do you still buy games on Xbox, or do you wait for them to come to Game Pass? Oh no, I still buy games on Xbox. Absolutely. Because there's a lot of games that aren't on Game Pass. Like I just bought, oh my God, I buy, dude, as weird as this sounds, I buy way more games now because of Game Pass. Because Game Pass covers all my big purchases. And that means I have more money to spend on other stuff. Like I just bought all the fucking Hitman games. So I got Hitman 1, 2, and 3 with all the maps in 3. I bought fucking a bunch of Splinter Cell games. I bought a lot of shit, man. So much stuff. Like Dying Light with all the DLC. I bought that. Like, dude, Game Pass is awesome. Seriously. Nice Yoda water bottle. Thank you. Thank you. One of my friends, she got this for me for Christmas. And this is awesome because this is one of my favorite thermoses. It's not really a thermos. What, I forgot what the proper term is, but it's like really high quality too, man. It keeps my drinks cold for a couple minutes longer, and it's perfect because it's not one of those where if like you drink it, it'll be overflowing. It's just like perfect, man. I love it. Do you play Guilty Gear? My Twitter timeline is full of Jack poses. Yeah, bro. I've seen it all the time. Now, I haven't really messed with Guilty Gear in a long time. I played it a little bit back in the day. I actually got introduced to it on the PSP. One of my friends actually had it. He let me borrow it, which is very weird because he only plays like Madden stuff on his PSP, but he had Guilty Gear for some reason, so that was cool. But yeah, I don't really delve much into fighting games, but I do see it all over my timeline just by the nature of me having friends who are big fighting gamers. Yeah, I see that pose everywhere, man. It's fucking like, wow, what the? A lot of good sales on the Xbox store too. Yep, a lot of good sales. Can't you get the Hitman games for free on the Epic Games Store? Was that limited time? That was most likely a limited time, Daniel Pack. But you know me, bro. I love having everything on my Xbox console, man, because it just, I know going forward it'll be future proof. And yes, you can do that on Steam, but there's just something so novel about having a console that's as tiny as the Xbox, and then having your entire library from when you started on the 360 all the way, like for the most part, all those games that you bought digitally, you can play on the new consoles. Like that's fucking dope to me. Why aren't a lot of people talking about this year's video games? Well, they are talking about video games, but there just hasn't been a lot of video games that have made a lot of buzz. What do you guys think was the biggest video game that came out this year? Would y'all say it was like Resident Evil 8? I would say probably Resident Evil 8 was the biggest game to release this year in terms of everyone talking about it, right? Like, obviously, yeah, you have big games like Ratchet and Clank and Psychonauts, but I'm thinking like big games, probably Resident Evil 8. Because Ratchet and Clank was big, but didn't Ratchet and Clank only sell like, I think 1 million or something? I know Resident Evil 8 sold more because it was on multiple platforms, but yeah, it's yeah, there hasn't been a lot of big games, but there have been a lot of games to talk about. There have been a lot of games to talk about. And just in general, a lot of the games have gotten delayed to next year, so there's that as well. So no one's really, you can't really talk about games when a lot of them aren't around. I found since I built my PC, I struggle to pick whether to buy games on it or my PS5. Been using Game Pass to play Psychonauts. Yeah, you know, it is kind of tough, but I think the benefit now of buying games on consoles is a lot of them are 60 frames standard. So that's very awesome, because before it used to be like, you have to pick and choose. Do you want it on consoles for convenience, or do you want it on PC for fidelity? But now we're getting to the point where it really doesn't matter. The only difference is what's more convenient to you. So there are some games that I will buy purely on PC. Like when you strip away, like, yeah, I like to use a mouse instead of a controller for this game or whatever. Sometimes I like having it on PC because it's easier to stream, or it's easier for me to just be on my PC on Discord. You know what I'm saying? I could just easily do this. Whereas if I'm playing it on consoles, I got to make sure I have my Bluetooth headphones synced in to Discord, and then I can play my game. So yeah, it just all depends. Different strokes for different folks. But one thing I do like about buying games on Xbox over PlayStation is the whole FPS boost thing. Dude, I'm waiting for that next FPS boost drop, because playing Dying Light at 60 frames per second dude, on consoles, oh my god, it is a game changer. That's part of the reason why I did not play Dying Light for so long on consoles, because when the game came out, I was kind of in an in-between situation where my gaming PC was on its last legs in terms of performance, so the only option I had was buying a console. But the problem was Dying Light ran like shit, and it was at 30 frames, and it was not really that great. Ugh. But now with the FPS boost, dude, that game runs like a gem. It's awesome. And, you know, with Xbox, you got the whole auto HDR thing, quick resume. Dude, it's awesome. Have you seen the anime Domestic Girlfriend? It's an absolute dumpster fire, but still watched it all. Oh, it sounds like school days. Do you think living on your own can be very stressful? It depends, man. I mean, honestly, I feel like it comes down to, it's one of those moments where you kind of have to learn to be by yourself. And by being by yourself in that situation means coming with more responsibilities. So yeah, it is a different kind of stress, because literally if you don't pay the rent, if you don't pay mortgage, then you're fucked. But it's kind of like its own set of rewards. Like, oh, this is your own place. Like, you make the rules here. And the only people you really got to worry about are, well, if you got neighbors, you got neighbors. Or if you own a place, then you got to make sure like everything is upkeep, like your grass and all that stuff. But I don't think there's any negative aspects of it being stressful. Like, the most stressful part about owning your own place or living on your own should just be making sure that all the bills is paid. That's it. That's all it is. Do you still buy physical games, or you're going all digital? I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty much all digital now, with the exception of very certain examples. Like niche games, I'll always buy them physical, because just because I like having them in the collection. I like, most of the time they come in special editions. And just in general, I've noticed, like, I'm more prouder of like the niche games, other than something like let's just say, for example, Returnal. I bought Returnal digitally, and I have no problems buying that game digitally, because, you know, it's Returnal, it's digital. But if it was something like Persona, which is a series that's very dear to me, I want to go all out for this special edition. I want to have it. But I'm not gonna lie, there, like, the way gaming is nowadays, where the discs are essentially unlock keys, or it's half disc and then you got to download the rest. Buying physical only really matters if you want to have it on your shelf. Now, obviously, in some situations, depending on where you live and your internet infrastructure, it might be better to buy it physical, because, you know, it's easier to have most of the game and then just download the patches. But one thing I've noticed, you're kind of at a disadvantage if you buy mostly physical on these new consoles, you know? So I'm just going to be half and half as far as things are concerned, but I've definitely bought a hell of a lot more games digitally than physically, as far as next gen is concerned. I'm trying to think of any next gen games I bought physically. I don't count cross gen games, so I can't say Spider-Man Miles Morales, but wow. Every single next generation game I've bought has been digital. And that's because I game share with my boy. So, you know, like, I buy Ratchet and Clank Returnal, and then he buys the next two games. And yeah. Wow. I guess most of my upcoming games are all going to be digital on PlayStation, because I game share. I love you, Chris. I'm so excited. I was finally able to order my Xbox Series X. I love my PS5, but I'm ready for a game service subscription. I'm tired of paying $60 to $70 for games. Well, congratulations on getting a new console. See, that's awesome. PS5 is a great machine. Xbox is a great machine. So, you know, just enjoy yourself and have fun, man. Opposite for me. I buy physical for new IPs or new games I'm trying out, so I can at least get some money back for them by selling them if they're not to my liking. That's fair, Alice Bell. That's fair. So that means you buy digital for the games that you like? I feel like to be the opposite. Like, Persona is always going to be physical for me. Always, man. Always. I'm gonna call it. Sony's gonna discontinue the PS5 disc to cut cost. I don't think that's the wisest option, Miyazaki, because they're actually losing way more money on the digital console than they are the physical console. Because the digital console is an entire PS5 that they're selling at less than the cost of a PS5. Like, Xbox is losing money on the Series S, just like PlayStation is losing money on the digital edition. But that's kind of, they know that, you know what I'm saying? Because they know obviously they're going to sell more of the Series X and the regular PS5 by comparison. GameStop is sweating right now. Yeah, man. Especially with the way these consoles have been scalped and all that stuff, man. They're like, damn it, this is supposed to be the thing to save us. Bro, I just went into my local GameStop for the first time in, oh man, years, you guys, years. I'm telling you, years. And man, it's so weird. Like, I go in there and it's just, dude, there's like no soul. There's no soul. There's no gaming soul in there. Like, there's barely anything on the shelf. And the stuff that is there is just not that interesting. Like, I remember I used to walk into GameStops and, bro, I used to be bombarded with all this cool stuff and so many different types of games and just like search and destroy. You go and like, oh, that game looks interesting. Let me get that and everything. Or going through the bins and seeing some cool stuff. Now it's just, it's sad, man. Yeah, dude. I would love if PlayStation did like an FPS boost thing. Because, dude, there's so many games from last gen. Like, I really wish Quantum Break would get a 60 frames FPS boost. Neo, did you see that the Halo Infinite Xbox consoles are going for $1,000 to $2,000? Yikes. Yeah, man. Yeah, those scalpers, they going to work, bro. They going to work. I'm back. I just finished watching The Chosen. Ooh, how was The Chosen, Brad? How was it? Favorite console of all time? Ooh, see, I go back and forth all the time. Like, I love the Super Nintendo and I love the PlayStation 2. Like, those are my top two consoles just because the library of games. But honestly, it might have to go to the PS2 just because of the breadth of franchise that are on there, dude. Like, Devil May Cry, Grand Theft Auto, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, like all the one-off games that are on there, like just the random Dark Horse titles, the hidden gems. Like, PS2 has a shit ton of stuff, man. So many games, dude. So many games. But then the Super Nintendo, and they have Chrono Trigger on there. And then Final Fantasy 6. It's tough. It's tough, my friends. Yeah, a lot of people love the GameCube, and I like the GameCube too. It had a good library, but compared to the PS2, nah. PS2 is king, man. Being able to buy games digitally is kind of killing GameStop. Absolutely, Chris. I mean, you got to look at it like this. Most people went to GameStop out of convenience because for a lot of places, GameStop was the only place that was really selling video games. But obviously, in the past 10 years, Walmart upped their game when it came to buying stuff, buying video games. Same for Best Buy, but now everything is digital. Like, digital is upwards of like what, 50+% of a game's sales. So yeah, most people aren't going to GameStop, and just the way GameStop has been managed, like just the dumbass idiotic things they've been doing, and it's much cheaper to go through other outlets like Amazon. But yeah, everything is going digital because as you've seen, GameStop, well, not GameStop, but Amazon and Best Buy pulled back on like their 20% off memberships and shit. You guys remember where Amazon used to give you like day and date discounts for games, or Best Buy Gamer Club Unlocked? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember that shit. Good times. Good times, guys. Oh, man. What time is it right now? It's about 9:24 p.m. I think it's about time we wrap it up for the night, ladies and gentle germs. It's about time. Your boy Neo is getting a little hungry. And you know, the beast must be fed. But yes, you guys. Before we end off things for the night, I do want to... We're old. My hip. My leg. I do want to draw y'all's attention to something that I actually participated in earlier today, hosted by my very good friend Fame over at Level 1 Gaming. He put together a panel of content creators some of y'all might be familiar with. And it was basically a discussion on what it means to be black in the gaming industry, what it means to be a black content creator, just some of the things that we've experienced. And it was a really insightful discussion. Now, just based off the nature of, you know, all of us and what we had going on, we only were able to go for an hour. So there was a lot of stuff that we unfortunately didn't get a chance to speak on that we should have, but it's definitely going to be one of those things where we come back and do this every now and then, because there's a lot to speak about. And, you know, I've talked about it a little bit here on this stream, but it was just a really insightful discussion we had there. I mean, it was Fame, me, of course, Lord Cognito from Iron Lord Podcast, and Defining Duke as well. And then we had Kid Smooth, we had Baron, we had King Phoenix. We had everybody in there. So it's an all-star panel. And if you guys want to check it out, I'm going to leave the link down below here in the stream. If you guys do want to see that. So yeah, just head over to that video. Maybe give us a thumbs up, comment, just let them know, hey, Neo sent you from the stream, and check it out, because it is something that, you know, often gets forgotten, you know, being in this content creator space. Like, yeah, I'm a content creator, but I'm also black first and foremost. Like, this is not leaving my skin. And it was just really awesome to discuss with these guys. But yeah, the link is there in the chat if you guys want to check it out. Last minute $5 super chat coming in from the homie Daniel Pack. Let's bring those likes up real quick. 100 likes, let's go. Okay, what are we at right now? So we're at 73 likes right now. We got 58 people watching. Can we get to 100 likes? I don't know. Let's see. If y'all are watching this stream right now, make sure you hit that like button. Let's see how far we can go. I'm not sure if we can get to 100, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming through this stream. As always, these things are a shit ton of fun. Great discussions all around. Thank you guys so much for coming through, spending your time with me on this Saturday evening. Thank y'all for the super chats. Just thank y'all, most importantly, for y'all being you, because that's extremely, extremely important nowadays. We don't need any more clones. We don't need any more people trying to act like other people. We just need more authenticity, and that's what I'm seeing with y'all, which is why I rock with y'all. But yeah, the link is there in the chat if you guys want to check it out. I will post it again just in case it gets lost in the shuffle. But before we go, and I have not forgotten this, but thank you so much for those who keep commenting. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time of Asking, we're going to be doing something that might sound a little unorthodox, but it's become a tradition over the past year. We're going to be doing something called a hydration check. Now, we're all guilty of not getting our water in for the day. We are all guilty of not being as hydrated as we are, even though some of y'all, not saying any names, are hella thirsty in this chat. Even though this is a Christian YouTube stream, so I don't know why y'all is thirsty. The only thing you should be thirsty of is Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. But yeah, so all we do in this stream is we just get our favorite H2O beverage of choice. So none of y'all vodka drinkers, none of y'all people in this chat, get your favorite water of choice, whether it's seltzer, whether it's mineral, whether it's just plain, preferably not tap water, because tap water is not good for you. Anything of that, guys. Just get that H2O and we chug it. So on the count of 3, we are going ahead and chug this shit. So on the count of 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Hydration. I am actually very proud of myself for that one, you guys, because I have not chugged that much water on stream in a hot minute, man. Oh, man, there we go. Actually got a Gatorade nearby. There we go. Try out for that commercial. But yeah, y'all, enjoy the rest of your evenings, you guys. Enjoy your mornings, your afternoons. Have a great weekend. And for me for now, my name is NGS signing out. And like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.